Okay, so we are recording. So the topic of the night is a lot of people did transition. If you want a transition video, I would recommend going watching Whitney Hebels on her YouTube channel or Katrina Anderson's because she also did that on for her team page transition. But I was trying to go a little bit outside the box. As much as transition is very overwhelming, I think a lot of people cover a lot of good aspects, and I don't think I could repeat anything that they said that would be beneficial for you. So, um, as many of you know, if you don't know who I am, I'm Nikki Mayhew. I am the star director of Butterfly Kisses. So I'm either your director, your sponsor, or your star director. Um, those are my many hats in the Scentsy world. And then on top of that, I have many hats as a mom. I am the PTO president. I'm a scout leader. I work at the hospital as a nurse. I do too many things for my own good. And I just finished my college degree. But I'm going to use that to my advantage. So something that my kids do, one does Girl Scouts and one does two do Boy Scouts, and they both have in their Scout law that a Scout is brave. Now, when you think a Scout is brave, I want you to think of how we can make that relevant to Scentsy. So we always say, go out of your comfort zone, do the big scary things. We tell each other that as adults. But if you take an 8-year-old like my daughter and tell her to do big and scary things, it's because you believe in her. You think she can do it. You know she can do it. You're setting her up for success because you've already put those foundations in place. Or she might fail, and that's okay, but you're going to be there to support her and build her back up. So something that my daughter did the other day, and Katrina said this is a great topic to share, was my daughter selling Girl Scout cookies. We did a 29-second video live of her saying what she needed to say, like, I'm selling Girl Scout cookies. This is my first time, why I'm doing it, and here's my link. She also then made a 2-second video saying, thank you, everyone, so that I could send it to people when they were done ordering. She told her goal right out front. My goal is 200 boxes. She did 200 boxes in 24 hours. This is our first time ever doing cookies. I didn't know what to expect. And I said, okay, well, we hit our goal. We need to up our goal. And she goes, why? I said, well, if we hit our goal and we hit it very quickly, our goal wasn't big enough. So make her getting comfortable doing those big, scary things that we are encouraging each other to do. So she upped it to 300. She's 2 boxes away. But she's now talking to every single teacher at her school in case she didn't hit them already. And then as soon as she gets an order, she lets me know so that I can then send the follow-up message of her saying thank you, her virtual video of saying thank you. So we already created a system in place, and we start doing these systems when we're super young, and we instill them in our kids. They're called routines typically. So if we're instilling routines into kids, or we had them instilled into us when we were kids, why do we not use them in a business aspect? Why do we just sometimes wing it? So that's just an example of like how we can do follow-ups, how we can do big and scary things, how we're already setting up systems from a young age and keep growing with them as we keep growing. Another example is my kids range from age 5 to almost 17. My teenager today got to call a trade school for the first time. He's a junior. He's looking at doing all the senior stuff next year. Mom's not ready. But I said, okay, you need to sign up for your ACTs, your SATs, like I'm giving a list to him. Any teenager, any person is going to be overwhelmed by this massive list of things you have to do as a senior. We all remember it. We all went through it. But one of the things he kept procrastinating today was I said, you need to call this trade school. It's not my job. And find out more about their program, what they offer, what the admission process looks like, because only half the information's on the website. And he didn't want to. He didn't want to. He was so scared to call them because it was big and scary. This was a new territory. Mom's always done this for me. Why do I have to do it myself? But I pushed him out of his comfort zone. I made him get uncomfortable. And as soon as I did this, I think of my teamies as this. I asked them, okay, this is your goal. How can I push you to get uncomfortable? Just a little bit. You don't want to do it too much because then it gets scary and people back away. But once he did this, he talked to the person. You could hear as his conversation continued on the phone, because that generation does not talk on the phone, guys. They do not talk on the phone. He was getting more and more comfortable with that conversation, giving information, getting information, and asking questions. He had one question when he started this phone call, and he got that answer and continued to think of more as he continued to talk. And I asked him after, was that scary? And he said, yes. I said, was it worth it? And he said, absolutely. But the smile on his face made it worth it for me, because I got to see him grow and get uncomfortable, just like I get to see our teamies grow and get uncomfortable. And knowing that that accomplishment happened, I think of myself as more of a mama bear, and I'm like, okay, how can I get you to grow and uncomfortable, but still in your goals? I look at it how I mentor my own kids in that respect. We often say we let fear get in our way, assuming everyone will ghost us, say no, or laugh at us. Because let's be realistic, we've all had those things happen in our lives. But if you ever have looked at the word fear, I throw an acronym at it. Fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. And that's how you have to look at it. Like when you're looking at the day, something bad just happened. Do I face it or do I run? So it comes out to being the choice is yours. Another situation is, excuse me, I know that you guys are all friends with me on Facebook. We all got the email today. You're so close to hitting level whatever you are. And a bunch of you guys have either hit it or super close. I don't like posting those on my page because I feel like they're braggy, that I don't get the right message across. I seem desperate. We all have that fear. It gets in our way. We get in our own head. So I reached out to my accountability partner, one of them, and I said, hey, this is what I'm looking at as a base of wording. This is my goal of what I want to say. I just don't want to sound desperate. And she looked at it, changed a few of the words, and said, how's this sound? And I was like, great. What do I got to lose? Worst case, I don't get a sale. Best case, I get what I need to get to hit the incentive. In the first 10 minutes, I had someone reach out to me privately and say, parties don't usually do well for me. I don't have any extra cash to spare right now, but I'm happy to throw you one if you think you want to give it a whirl. Of course, my answer is yes. I had a second one reach out and say, hey, can we make this into a fundraiser for my tutoring center? Yet again, I'm going to say yes. But if I had not posted that, I would not have either of those opportunities. So it's taking what we have, literally Scentsy sent us that email to get uncomfortable, and then how can we make it relevant to posting on our personal page or in our VIP groups? So it was one of those, I got to choose my fear, get over my fear, and rise. You always want to use your village, your community, your support team, your friends, children, nieces, nephews, and your pets. And I'm going to emphasize on the pets because I will never forget Jessie using her pets as one of her cats being her supervisor. And I thought it was the best thing I'd ever seen with a Scentsy box in front of him. Thinking outside the box and being brave will always get you comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's the goal. Is we want to grow, we want to get uncomfortable, but we have to do it in steps that, would I make my kid do this? Would I ask my friend to do this? Would I support my friend if they did this? So always bring it back to relevant to you're just getting in your own way. What can I do to help you? Or what can I do to help myself to rise above this? So that's our team meeting. I'm going to stop the recording.